Saturday, we've got Brooklyn helping out. She's giving the cars inside the showroom area a clean down. You'll see there's a big hole there, and that's because our Vauxhall Corsa is just outside being taxed. Somebody who's only watched the channels a few times, daughter needed a car and he remembered me, saw that I had the Corsa up for grabs. I did wonder how he'd seen it because it's not advertised anywhere else. He's just come and purchased that and they're just about to head off in that one. And we've got Scotty on, he's in. Scotty's in the house. Say hello to everyone, Scott. You haven't been on the channel for a while, have you?
Hello, I've been away a bit.
You've been away? You make it sound like you've been in prison, mate.
Well,
we don't talk about that. So he's got the old Cougar outside. He's giving it a bit of a machine polish for me. And we have got the legend that is Chris. He's fiddling with the Fiesta because I've gone and pulled it out, ready for its pickup with the customer. And it's thrown an airbag light out of nowhere. And no one knows why. So we've got Chris on the case on it. I'm just making him a brew to kind of keep him sweet because he keeps coming by at the drop of a hat helping me out. So lots on as always, guys. So the joys of trading old cars. Chris has had a look at the airbag issue and he's diagnosed a clock spring on the steering wheel because he noticed something that nobody else did, to be fair, which is that the horn is not working. And he said your ohms, is it, to the front sensor for the airbag is way out compared to all the other ones. So he's pretty convinced it's a clock spring, so he's ordered up. He's 99% sure ordered up, but we've obviously had to let the customer know they can't pick up the car. So yet again, we've got to hold on to a car that's sold and keep it clean and tidy when we really could do with the space. But this is the joys of dealing with old cars. And this is what I say people don't appreciate in this business when they talk about dealers selling older cars for more money. If you got that off a driveway and that airbag light came on later on, you'd be on your own, wouldn't you, to do it? But we have to sort all these things before the cars go out the door and afterwards. So I spoke to you about the Fabia that went out, and I had a message later on about the Skoda Fabia that we sent out the door. Well, the subscriber noted a couple of things driving home which I hadn't noticed. To be fair, Chris had driven the car as well. He hadn't noticed it either. That he said that when he was slowing down from motorway speed, so presumably that's a higher speed than we would have been tested around here locally, that he was getting vibration through the steering wheel coming down from like 60, 70 mile an hour sort of thing. He was getting vibration through the steering, which immediately to me suggested brakes, discs, something like that, which he agreed with. And he said he also was getting a knocking from the suspension, which I didn't get at all. I did a quick quiz Chris when he came out just now because he drove the car as well, but he didn't notice it. But then again, knocks on the suspension, they can be hard to diagnose. He's popped into a garage who've said they will do the front discs and the top mount. They've diagnosed the top mount. Get this, 300, let me get this right, 326 pounds was it, I think they wanted for it. So I thought, that sounds extortionately high. So I rang my parts people and asked them how much are the discs, and to me, trade-wise, the discs are £30. How much is the top mount? They said there's two parts of the top mount. Together that came to £10, so £50 in parts. I asked Chris when he was here, I asked Pete when he was here, how long labour-wise? He said hour and a half really for that job, max half an hour for the discs, he said, and then an hour max to change out a top mount, faffing around with springs and that kind of thing. So even if you said double the amount, so even if the garage is marking up 100% on the parts, which is fair enough, let's say 100 quid for the parts, and they were charging £50 an hour, £75, £175 plus VAT, fair enough. But we're miles out. So I said, I appreciate other garages are more expensive, this, that and the other. So what I've said at the end of the day is, if worst case scenario, they were doing double on the parts at £100, and they were saying 2 hours labour at £100, I'd say £200 plus VAT would be the very, very top end of doing that job. And I don't know as it stands now what the subscriber would like to do, but I said, look, I'm prepared to send you that money across and you can use someone more expensive if you like. But I don't want it to have come all the way back here because it's miles back here. I am surprised, I have to say, that Moore's missed it in the MOT because it's advisory free MOT. So bear in mind, the dealer who had my Porsche sold it to me, he came along and said, look, I know it needs an ABS sensor. He would normally have told me if it needed discs. I would have thought the Moore's guys seem to have missed it. But again, None of us are taking the kind of speeds the Subscribe did on the way home, so it is entirely possible it's been missed. The disc looks okay, but when you're driving at speed and braking, there's a warp in them. You wouldn't notice a warp in a disc, I guess. Top mount again. Yeah, I guess these things can be missed. It's just frustrating because up here, I would have that entire job done for probably no more than 150 quid max. But there we go. We'll see what our subscriber would like to do. I would say the Fabia as it stands now is probably going to be a break even at best. The Fabia, it literally probably needs one more thing over the next few months and that'll be a break even. Should have been a bit tougher on the purchase price of that car and probably should have asked a little bit more money for it as well. But them's the cards we get dealt. We need to get the Suzuki photographed, we need to get the C1 photographed and the Picasso photographed, but as normal it's peeing down with rain again. Hey ho. Oh, part exchanges. I haven't gone through the new part exchange. We've got some new part exchanges to show you. Plus, I actually bought a couple more yesterday. I just agreed a deal on them last night, so I didn't sort of introduce those. We haven't picked them up just yet. But I'll show you the two we've got in. So now Brooke and I are on the taxi. Scotty's still machine polish. He's moved inside because of the rain. We've got to change the number plates out. We've got to give the whole car a clean. Then we're going to give it a buff with the black turtle wax. And then we've got new chrome wheel trims to go on there. Then when the Cougar's out, we'll move it forward and hit the interior on it. So we're giving the wheels a wire brush down and they're going over with some stone chip. So check out the taxi, everyone. Look how shiny and lovely she looks. So all the outside's been given its polish. It's got those new wheel trims on. Tyres have had their tyre shine. Brooke's done all that. We've used the Altrol on the door handles to make them nice and glossy and black, same with the wing mirrors. Done all of those around the back here. Use the Altrol on the back badge there. It was a bit grey and just looks fantastic. So all the exterior has been done. Need to detail the engine bay and then get in, wet clean the seats and hoover out the inside. Brooke has now moved on to the Cougar that Scott's run off. He's finished machine polish. She's given it a waterless wax over now because obviously you get a bit of dust and stuff left over when you're machine polished. Then we've got to do the plastics and the tyres and everything on that. But Scott has got all the light scratches out the paint. She's looking a lot better. There's some deeper scratches still kicking around, but it was really quite milky and faded, the Cougar, which is why I wanted it machine polished and I just wasn't getting around to doing it. Just too busy. So we made some good progress today. And the place is looking cleaner and tidier with all the cars not having dust on them from when I sanded that Fiesta in here. All the polishing on the taxi's done. I'm going to move it inside now and get the inside done on it. Quick update on the Fabia situation. Bit of turn and throwing back and forth with me with the purchaser. I explained, like I said, I'd pay the $220, which I still thought was way more than it should cost. Unfortunately, all the other garages in their areas can't do the work. They haven't got the time. These guys will fit it in straight away. Probably there's probably a reason for that. And they feel that I am, just because I can get work cheap done cheap down here doesn't mean they get it done there. I would still say that cheap down my way is like 150 quid. £220 is more than I'd pay down here. Obviously, if you're not in the industry, you might not know this score, and you might just think that I'm taking the Michael bit with really low cost. But I explained that there is online systems that tell you how long it takes to change parts out, and front disc is a half-hour job. It really is, unless there's something going on with very complicated systems. But on a Fabia, that isn't the case. So I explained it's not a case of me being able to get really cheap rates. There are standard time frames for fitting these parts, and what they're quoting is well over and above. They did then point out that obviously, again, they want to get it done straight away, that they had to come back twice for the car because obviously, they came to look at the car, and when I messaged them to say that there was a problem with the seat, they're already on the way here. And the first time they were fairly local. The second time, so when they came back to pick up the second time, they had to travel from home, which is quite a distance. So they said, there was the inconvenience that I did forget to put in the Bluetooth dongle that I said I'd put in the car as well, so I've had to post that out. So in the end, for an easy life, I said yes to £320 for a brake disc and a top mount. I did say I'll do £50 an hour labour, and I'll pay for those things to be done. But that it had to be billed to me so that I could get the VAT on it. So hopefully that sorts it out, and the customer ends up happy. At the end of the day, I don't blame them at all. It's really between me and the garage to a certain extent. I know the industry inside out. They're not experienced if they're told that there's something wrong with the car and that's what it costs to fix. You know, what can you do? But I just think that's outrageous. I genuinely believe it's 3 times trade rates, but I think it's still 50% more than blooming retail rates personally. Anyway, comment down below if you think I'm wrong. Let's get us in and clean the interior. Oh, in case there were any doubts, obviously with that little bit more on top, we really are only down to a couple £100 on the Fabia now. It's not been a good flip, that one. So taxi cab's all done. We're doing a little video for our purchaser just to confirm exactly the condition before they have it delivered to them. Look how good it looks. It really does look smart, doesn't it? I've had a lot of fun driving this about. I'd grab another one. If another one came my way, I'd probably grab another one. It's not perfect. There's a few light scrapes on the bumper there, but it's a 225,000 mile car that's, what's it getting on now? 16 years old or whatever. It's getting on. I've said in the video as well, it does seem to weep a little bit from the bottom of the engine, but nothing major. It's not hitting the ground while it's running, so it wouldn't fail MOT on it. It's short of rebuilding the engine and putting all new seals on it, you wouldn't be able to stop that. You could try a bit of stop leak in the tank, I guess. But it's actually, yeah, all come out super clean and tidy. I hadn't realised that this here, I think some of you told me I hadn't properly spotted it, but this here is actually a fold-out ramp. And our purchaser is going to do exactly what I'd suggested with it, which is, do I need to go further back? Oh, you'll take the strap off, I guess. I think there's a strap there you take off, so you can fully let it go, I guess. I don't know, you taxi drivers would have to tell me. Yeah, I managed to get it out. I don't know if you're supposed to have a longer strap here or you're supposed to take that off or something, but yeah, it's got a built-in little ramp there. And the person that's having it is using it for their dog, apparently. Yeah, I think I'll be tempted to cut that off so the door can swing completely open. Make it easier to get that ramp out there unless I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, they're apparently using it for their elderly dog to get in and out. You can either get in the back there. Oh. Haven't I closed properly? That. There we go. You can get in there or you can get in the passenger seat, can't you? It's nice and low to get in. You can sit to him and have a chat while you drive about. But yeah, like I said in this game, if I just do all the small cars all the time, it's not going to be very interesting coming to work. It's a bit of fun doing something like this, isn't it? And massive thanks to Brooke for giving it the old polish, and then me finishing off. I'll thank myself for finishing off with the interior valet, but it looks cracking. So following up on what I was saying about that Fabia, £320 to change the front discs and pads plus a top mount, let me show you this invoice from Moores on the little Micra that we just picked back up, the Holy Roof Micra. So they did the MOT, renewed the battery, renewed the front brake discs and pads, renewed the wiper blades, renewed the bulb, lubricated a sticky seat belt, renewed the engine oil and the filter, and provided the parts for those. So they provided all the parts as well, and the total bill was £277.30 including VAT. So in that were the parts for, as I said, brake discs £32 for a set of brake discs, £11 for the pads. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? They, you know, I know Moore's do me a good deal, but to charge £320 for a couple of brake discs and a top mount is absolute outrageous when you get all that work done for £277. we bought the Fabia with £1,500 margin, which might sound, you know, fantastic. You bought a Fabia for £2,000, you sold it for £3,500. Wow, you got the car cheap. Now that would have been a cheap car had we left everything. So had we left an ABS centre that flashed on every now and then, a noisy fan, and the passenger seat stuck, and you know, in the position which was far enough back for people to sit in it and that kind of thing, you'd have a cheap car. But if you then want to fix all of those things, and then go on to do advisory-free MOTs and, you know, and get it bang on, then that £1,500 has actually been reduced down to about £200. You know, after putting a warranty on it as well, paying the VAT man his cut, so on £1,500 he wants 300 quid, just short of 300 quid, whatever. And with your warranty, bang, you're even to £500 straight away then. I think the bill from Moores was around about 450 odd quid. We got 100 odd quid to Chris for doing the repairs that he did on it, and the fixes he did on it. And then we've got 320 odd pounds going on this thing. So, you know, you can see why now people might think I'm mad, but I say you need to start off with a 2k margin in cars, which is nigh on impossible, because your problem in that equation is who's going to sell you a car that's going to retail for £2,000? What member of the public is going to let you have cars that cheap, unless they already know it's got major faults, in which case your £2,000 will quickly be eaten up as well. So there's a couple of lads on TikTok, I don't know if any of you know them, I do like the way that they call these cars dingers, and what they do is they simply wash them and they put an MOT on it, and that is it. If it's got a long enough MOT, they don't bother with MOT at all. They just wash them and they call them dingers. And their argument is, under sort of like £5,000, all of these cars are old cars. If they've got dings and scratches in them, if they've got little faults with them, whatever, that doesn't stop it from being a driving car, then, you know, just kind of live with it situation. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the way I'd want to go. Not the way I'd want to go, really. But it's just, again, it's just about, one of the purposes of the channel is to dispel a lot of the myths about car trading. A lot of the myths about car trading, which is that we buy cars in for peanuts, we throw a bucket of water over them, send them out the door at massive markup, and then refuse to do anything after sale, which is just utter rubbish. Because let's face it, if all car dealerships did that, why on earth would the public use car dealerships? They'd have been gone donkey's age ago. Donkey's age. They wouldn't exist. Because if everybody was getting ripped off by car dealers, car dealerships wouldn't exist. What nutters would continue to use those businesses? Anyhow, enough of my little soapbox rant. Let's go on with some other stuff. Right, I know you've all been waiting for it. It's time to get the VW up, down for its MOT finally. Battery's predictably flat. Let's get down there and find out what it's going to need from sitting about, basically. I'm sure if it had gone straight in for an MOT, probably would have needed nothing. But, yeah, we're about to find out. Bonnet still undecided, but we'll get the MOT on it first. Right, I've been promised to show you some of the new part exchanges in. Done nothing with the Mini yet, by the way, because I'm still waiting for the window motor. I found the place I ordered it from actually takes 3 weeks to deliver, which is a mistake. Because otherwise I think that would be gone by now. Just need to put the window in so the roof works properly, and I'll probably trade that out. I might retail it. But we got this nice Sportage in 2011 automatic 4-wheel drive with the 2-litre diesel in it. It's really... It's muddy, but it's actually in really nice nick. It's got a tow bar on the back of it. Now, you taught me now to look for twin ports on them. So it has got twin ports, so maybe it did tow a caravan. I just noticed a dent on the back there I hadn't noticed before. But the wheels are good, they don't need refurb, which is unusual for these lacquered ones, isn't it? They've got nearly new tyres on. We've got that scrape on the wing to sort out. Other than that, minor stuff really. Couple of little things I found with it when I bought it. Luckily I found it before I paid up for the car. Yeah, alright. This thing for starters is buzzing when you get in. I don't quite know why. I'll go for all my keys now. It's buzzing when you get in straight away. I don't know what that is. That might be supposed to be doing that, and it might be something I'm doing. I'm not sure. But it's got, if I remember rightly, somewhere in here there's a service history, full service history. The rear reversing camera isn't working, and the reversing sensors are buzzing as soon as you put it in reverse, so that means one of the sensors is gone, and the roof is super slow. But I did douse the roof in silicone and white grease, and it was super slow. Let's start it up. I don't want to do the roof, so it may well need a motor in the roof. Yeah, I left it doused in silicone grease. Oh, okay. It seems to be working literally. Well, we'll see. Coming back, I literally had to pull it back with my hand on it. I had to pull it back like that. But it's absolutely fine now. White grease and silicone left overnight seems to have done the job. That could have easily gone a different way. Right, okay, so all we need to do is find out why the... Oh, the other thing is, no volume on the stereo. So I can hear the buzzing for the parking sensors through the speakers, but I can't get any volume from the stereo itself. So we've got no reversing camera, and we've got no volume from the stereo. See, why is it buzzing at me now? I don't understand. We've got cruise control, Bluetooth, air conditioning, heated seats. Obviously it's automatic, all round electric windows, and on this one the rear seats are heated as well, actually, if I remember rightly. Yeah, heated rear seats, and a stack of history, full service history. So why is my camera... Sorry guys, sorry for the camera quality. 2 seconds, let's pause and see if I need to clean it off. That might be a bit better. Yeah, so nice leather, it's all in good nick. So yeah, it's seems a decent motor. I forgot what the mileage was. I think it was 113,000 miles. Excuse the truck. So the mileage is a bit higher than most would like, but obviously that'll be reflected in the price. And it's got a full service history, so I don't, on these 2 litre diesels, chain driven of course, so I believe they're chain driven, aren't they, these 2 litre ones? So yeah, it shouldn't really be a major concern mileage wise. So yeah, could be a good buy. I'm off to look at another one today as well, actually. Now the other car has been taken away straight away. I did do a video for TikTok, so I might insert that now. A Corsa, which luckily I caught it. I was offered it and given a price for it. Went to go and have a look at it and caught something they didn't. I think I'll probably insert that little clip now. Well, unfortunately, one of our main dealer salespeople has been burned again by a member of the public part exchanging their car. He got excited at 31,000 miles on this 2012 Corsa. Took it in a part exchange. I went down to look at it today where I go to buy their part exchange, and unfortunately I had to give him the bad news that he's been badly burned on it and might not get his money back. I shall show you the reason why. With the Corsa, first thing you always do, turn the key, see if you've got timing chain rattle. Didn't have that, so that was a good sign. The next thing you want to do is check the engine bay, and as soon as I checked the engine bay, I knew we had problems. Zero coolant in the coolant bottle, and underneath the cap, nice chunky mayo. The only place you want to see that is in our sandwich, isn't it? And it immediately pressurized, so that means the head gasket has gone on it. And as per the norm, our salesperson wasn't told. Oh dear, naughty, naughty public. So yeah, so it turns out that in that particular garage, they're not supposed to lift the bonnets on the cars, which, you know, in this day of health and safety, I can imagine that's probably the case. So it was here, and I was going to do a little walk around video for you, but the legend that is Chris has taken it straight away, nipped it off, and wants to have a look at it. Now the thing for me is that I noticed was that the water was spraying all up the bulkhead and over the gearbox. Now I do wonder if that means that we haven't got possibly some pipe work at the back that's split, but it could have still cooked the engine. So I'll have to update you later on that one. The mileage super low, obviously 35,000 miles on a Corsa. If we can get that fixed and sorted, it'll be a good car, and obviously I paid a price according for it having a bad head gasket. So that Corsa's gone down to with Chris to hopefully sort it out. I got it the right price to allow for a head gasket. 32,000 miles on a Corsa, that should be a popular seller. So we'll see how we get on with that one. The Micra's back, as I said a minute ago. We've paid the bill on the Micra, and that is due to go out to a lad this weekend. That's the lad who had the green Micra and then unfortunately had it written off. he's opted to buy a bit more expensive this time, go for the Holy Roof Astra. He's been told Holy Roof Micro. He's been told the whole story, knows the score, where I've done paint. I pointed it out to him, been totally open, so we've got to give that a final valet, and then it'll be going off to its new home. I got news on the CRV. That's been dropped back to me, so I'm going to have to update you on the next one because this video is getting a little bit long now, but there's some news on the CRV after the fluids. Is it a bust or not? Well, I'll update you shortly. I've got two more, like I say, two more part exchanges that I've bought, one of which I think I may have gambled too far on. You're going to have to see that in the next video. And the other thing is there has been a further development in the saga of the Fabia. I've just had the bill in from the garage that's done the repair, and well, again, tune into the next video because that's a very interesting read. I did manage to finally get the 3 cars in, the little ones done, so they're all photographed. And for the first time in a while, I've actually got some cars properly photographed and on the site and on Auto Trader. I haven't done that for a while. So massive thanks for watching. Like I said, there's lots more to be updating you on some stuff. But we will have to be in the next video. So yeah, again, huge thanks for watching the video. Massively appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.